I have owned Transit Face now for about 18 months, and only now have I realised that that number plate isn't central. Hello. That's going to annoy me every time I see it now. Let's forget about that for the moment, because I have car stuff to do. And unfortunately, I'm not doing a great deal of fixing cars at the moment, more just taking them apart, because like this ZT there. But what I really want to get on with is this one. I am getting not fed up of seeing it, but sad Streetwise. Poor Streetwise. It's a sorry looking thing. It needs putting out of its misery. You know, it's the kindest thing you can do to a car like this. Some people may assume that when you take a car apart and sell its individual parts, you make a fortune. Well, that's not the case with Rovers, I'm afraid, because there's just not enough people who want the parts. And that is why a car like this can sit around for what is possibly 3 months now and still be in debt to me. Yeah, I haven't even made my money back on this car yet. Righto, this is the plan. Project Tony is going to be pulled slightly up there and over to this side slightly, jacked up, wheels underneath, front subframe off. So the engine and gearbox and all of the running gear, etc. can all come in one go, and then dragged backwards onto the truck where the rest of it will just come off. Battery's flat. It means I get the first chance to try out my reconditioned jump leads. After many years of ownership, these leads became frayed at the end. The power wasn't getting through quickly enough, but good old Mustard Senior came to the rescue, as he likes to dabble, likes to fix things and stuff, and if I try, he just comes and takes over, and he's sorted them out with some new lugs. And I've forgotten, I don't need to wander around while it gets a bit of charge in there, because they're 70mm cable, so they will just do the job straight away. Good. I'm thinking of getting myself some bravery pills and actually taking on some fixing work on other people's cars. Now normally I don't do this, because if I break my own car, that's fine, it's just my own fault. Someone else's, it's a different matter. I've got a lovely friend called Johnny, and he's lovely because he's got a massive ginger beard, and he asked me if I could fit a couple of wings to his Rover 45, and I just thought, you know, lefty loose is my speciality, not righty tighty. Sorry, maybe I'll change my mind. Actually, mind changing is another one of my specialities, because looking at this car now and what I did in the past with the car taking the subframe off here, I just remembered it's a right ball ache then moving the car away from the engine. Yes, you see, I'd have to jack the front of the car up so high that the engine and subframe can all be pulled forward, and that isn't quite as easy as it sounds. It's actually easier to pull it on the truck backwards like that than it is to drag it forwards first, but that's just dragging it. The truck does all the work, why should I care? Two choices then. What I can do is get the car on the back of the truck, take it up the back of the truck and stick it over there where I did the last job like that. Or I could try something completely different. Jack the back of the car up, drag it over that way, and then winch the front end of it and pull it around like so. That sounds much more fun. But whether it's really practical or not, I don't know. Probably isn't actually. I have got to think practically about this as well. There's no good spending an hour just moving the thing around. It's bad enough with spending an hour thinking about how I'm going to move things around. So I think the third solution will probably be the best one. Yep, watch this. I can guarantee that none of you boy racers have skid marks quite like this. Pumpy, pumpy, ba-bow, bow, bow. Pumpy, pumpy, ba-bow, ba-bow, ba-bow. After a rather heavy dinner, which has made me feel all bloated, I'm properly ready to climb under this car. First thing was to undo that knuckle thing on the steering column, which is that M8 bolt. It's 2:10. Can I have the whole thing dropped before I have to go? Sure, why, but these bolts are all coming out quite easily so far. That wouldn't normally happen. Look at that, come straight out. Someone must have had these off before. How curious, no brake bar needed. That was the subframe bolts. Next, the other bolts, the other big ones, those ones at the top of there. Engine mounts, that's it. Forgot the whole thing. Might need a brake bar after all for that.
This breaker bar.
Besides some rather insignificant pipes, this thing's ready to be dropped on the floor. And drop is the word. Yep, there we go. And that is how you drop out the whole engine, gearbox and subframe in one go in about 15 minutes. Do you think my cycling jacket's bright enough? Well look, there's a Mini R56 with a parking ticket for parking on this main road here. You might think that seems a bit harsh because obviously it's broken down, hasn't it? Oh, maybe the owner of this Mini can't afford breakdown cover as well as a 2007 Mini. So the answer's simple, isn't it? Buy an older car. Buy a more reliable car, like a Rover. Do you know what? As well as bridges and industrial estates and Korean beer, I really like subways. And this might sound a bit strange, but I'm going to say it anyway. I would love to come down here one night with a sleeping bag and just sleep down here. I know it's not the recommended thing to do because I would look like I'm homeless and because people tend to get kicking in the subway, but I can't explain why I like it, I just really, really do. I'd spend ages in it. But I'm not going to, I'm going to get back on my bike. That's the problem with cycling, makes you hungry. And then you eat more pasties and things like that. It's obvious, isn't it, really, that if you're going to do some exercise, you're going to work up an appetite. So if you then eat something, it's kind of pointless. Everyone knows that. But my trouble with this is, you do all that exercise, that's a little bit uncomfortable, and then you're hungry, that's also uncomfortable. So it's like a double punishment.